Hi, I'm Marci Degman, the Aspiring Gardener, and today we're going to talk about how to grow wild ginger plants. Now here I've got a little tiny plant, but as you can see, I hope, is that the roots are starting to go sideways. And what this plant does is it becomes a ground cover and it grows by lateral rootlets. So it's very shallow and it'll broadly spread out. So what I want to do is make sure that when I plant it that I have space for it. Since this is a fairly small plant, I'm going to pick an area about this big right here. Now what I want to do is dig a little in here, just about the size of the plant. I don't have to go down really deep because again it grows sideways, not down. So it's really easy to plant. And what you want to do is you want to have a partially shady situation. Afternoon sun is too much for these. It's a woodland plant. It loves acidic soil. It's a Northwest native from BC down the west coast. And so what you want to do is give it a forest type soil and setting. So here I've got just kind of normal soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some good rich compost because that'll give it the looseness and the acidity it needs. You can also go in and you can put things like pine needles. Anything that's kind of acidic is good for this plant. So it's a Northwest native and it's called Asarum caudatum. Now this is not the edible ginger. Sometimes they talk about, folklore talks about certain things they do with it, but this is not the one that grows the big fleshy root that you get at the grocery store. This is a nice ground cover, and what this will do is later on in the, maybe June I believe, around my area, it gets a really interesting purple flower. It kind of hides under the foliage, but it's very attractive. I really love it. And what this will do is it'll spread very nicely, about 3 feet wide over time, and only about, it says up to a foot, but most of the time they stay a lot lower than that. You can find them that have larger leaves. Some of them have mottled leaves, so there are other varieties that are really attractive for the garden. But they're a woodland plant for a part shade situation. So this is going to work really well near my trilliums and some of my other native plants. All you have to do at that point is give it regular water along with your other garden plants, and you don't want to give it any fertilizer. You just want to use good rich compost. And that's all you have to do to grow wild ginger.